tape down, now I got a buzz. Yup, they want Mike. Hope you didn't miss me too much. Think it's because I'm back like I never left, never second best. What kind of prophet won't resurrect? Still brown bag boo, still look it up. Still rapping and pretending I don't give a fuck. This is vintage MIC and Axis back on the track, it's magic.
So the last part of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was pretty fucking amazing. Spoilers ahead. Spoilers, people. Lucy, our hero's secret lover, was stabbed by him. Desmond then falls into a coma of some sort, and a bunch of questions must be answered. So here comes Revelations, which you would assume by the title would be the answers. We will be tying up Ezio's story, Altier's, and answering questions about Desmond's story, though just throwing a bunch of more questions. However, the story just doesn't have that amazing pacing and the ability to juggle so many stories as its previous installments. The story's main focus is Ezio without a doubt, and once again the story there works well. Ezio is an interesting character, and his story is a nice mix of action, drama, and of course comedy thrown in every once in a while. You'll skip into a couple of different stories about training your Brotherhood, to trying to help the upcoming king and find out the secrets of his family, to falling in love with a certain lady. So Ezio's story is pretty interesting throughout. Altier's story, on the other hand, feels like it's picking random stories throughout his life, and while the first two parts are kind of really fucking boring, the later memories are pretty interesting and contain some of the best parts of his story and the story in general. Desmond's story is where it really falls apart. The entire portion of him being in the coma world with Subject 16 just isn't all that interesting. I do like Subject 16, and he's a bit of a crazy fucker, but sadly it feels like the whole portion could have been better crafted and make it more interesting. Instead, you can gather memories of Desmond's past and travel in first person to find it out, and that's not fun. Desmond's story feels simply not interesting. So while I still love Ezio's story and enjoyed Altier's enough, Desmond's just falls apart, which is a shame because in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, I absolutely loved his part of the story.
He was an assassin, above all. You too were born into this order. Do you regret it? How can I regret the only life I've ever known? You may find a way in time, and it will be up to you to choose the path you prefer. Come, my boy, and ready your blade. This battle is not yet.
Graphic-wise, Assassin's Creed basically keeps up its own standards, and it looks great. A gigantic city to explore with its own feel than its previous predecessors, and you might notice a whole new art design, because like right off the bat, Desmond looks very different. I didn't notice at first, but when I look back at my older reviews, I definitely see the art design has definitely changed. Ezio looks slightly different, even more like his father. Altair is about the same because you never see his freaking face, and the death animations once again look great. The movements of running around the city are awesome. About the only thing wrong with the graphics are some of the odd movements from certain characters and probably the clipping. Though, like I said in my very first Assassin's Creed review, who gives a flying fuck about some clipping? Really now.
Salute a voi, assassini. It is an honor to find such fast friends so far from home.
You see, brothers? Our mentor is not afraid to weep openly in front of pupils.
Do not worry.
Now, one thing Assassin's Creed always, for me, worked was its gameplay. Despite the repetitive mission structure in Assassin's Creed 1, it was still fun to sneak around and kill Templars. 2 added diversity and better combat. Brotherhood added even more diversity, more weapons, and of course the option to have your Brotherhood as backup. So now we have Revelations, and I bet you are all wondering, what does it add, Whitey? Well, first off, the new additions I absolutely love is the hook. Not only does it help traveling on the zip lines, but it also helps climbing in general. Those high jumps that seem impossible to grab, fuck that. Grab the hook and you are jumping real high, and not only does it make the climbing smoother, but faster too, giving you a boost. You also have the advantage of jumping off, and when you jump off, hold that B button and you can actually grab onto a ledge with the hook, giving you the chance not to fall to your death once again. It saves you quite a lot. On top of traveling with the hook, you can also use it in combat. Watching Ezio grab an enemy from behind, flip him over, and then stab him in the fucking neck is amazing. So the hook is an improvement that I love. Now they also added bombs, which can be useful, especially in certain missions, but I never really got into them. Basically, you just use smoke bombs, bombs that distract, and then bombs that hurt guys. It's a cool addition, don't get me wrong, but I never really needed it much except for very few missions. So it's a nice addition, but once again, doesn't feel like it was needed. And that's a problem. You need to make these additions feel like they're needed. Another addition is the defense den. You'll basically enter tower defense type mode and defend your main house from upcoming enemies. I do like the mode, though whoever created it obviously didn't know how to scale the difficulty. From one den defense to another, it becomes ridiculously hard. The first few are piss easy, and then all of a sudden they throw so many freaking enemies at you that before you can even counter, you're just raging. Still, when you do defend one, it is a lot of fun at times, but it could have used more work, more polishing, and more time to make it work better. I guess we'll see how that works in the next game.
Defend that area.
My main flaw in the gameplay department is the missions. While some of them are the best in the series, some of them are also the worst. They can be really boring or just have stupid requirements like not being able to be seen despite respawning guards coming out of nowhere. Stuff like that is extremely lazy, especially coming from the last two games that have some of my favorite missions of gaming of all time. This one has quite a few great ones, don't get me wrong, but it also has some frustration ones that just make you say what the fuck or just plain boring. Also, the underground tombs, while more cinematic and badass, seem a lot shorter than the last two, which is a problem for me. I love the tombs in the last two, and in here they just seem short, cinematic parts, which is cool to watch, but not so much to play through. Now, as I said though, the cinematic feel of the underground missions are pretty awesome, and they feel like set pieces, and I'm sure the developers played some Uncharted when they did this part. You get some heart-pounding moments trying to survive in the underground places, which is pretty awesome and definitely helps the adrenaline and making you feel like that badass assassin. But at the same time, while the set pieces are cool, they took out the length of the tombs. As someone who always speaks his opinion, I gotta be honest here, Assassin's Creed is a disappointment. Some really annoying missions, Desmond's story feels like it goes nowhere, and the conclusion is eh. The new art design isn't the same, and it's missing my long, puzzle-ridden tombs. All of these things made me upset, since most of these things were being improved throughout the series. Now, that's not to say Assassin's Creed is a bad game at all. No, it's still a good one, a very good one. The combat is some of the best in the business in my opinion. While simple, it flows so well I find it hard to see anyone actually hating it. The sneaking and the backstabbing is awesome. The Brotherhood being back is a great feature. The cinematic set pieces are a welcome addition. The conclusion of Ezio's story is great, and the hook is a kick-ass feature. And it's nice and meaty long adventure with plenty of side quests.
Look at this place. Masyaf is a shadow of its former self.
We have been away for a long time.
But not in hiding. The Mongol threat demanded our attention and we rode to meet it.
So, while it's a disappointment, I can't say Assassin's Creed Revelation isn't great. It's a great game, fun as hell, and I'm glad to play as Ezio once more. What I'm trying to say here is it's a disappointment compared to the last two Assassin's Creed. While both of those receive a 9 from me, this game I'm going to reward an 8. And I still think it's a great game, but the flaws I listed just don't make it amazing. Still, long live Assassin's Creed, and I'll be back next year to review the next title as Ubisoft has made this an annual release. Assassin's Creed! That didn't sound like anything from any of Assassin's Creed, but I kind of wanted to make it more epic, so yeah. Thank you for watching.